The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Greetings and Happy New Year to all of our listeners out there. Today, we not only have listeners, but we also have folks out there that may be viewing this because our show here on WPRO called Service Matters is not only being broadcast by WPRO radio, but it's also being televised. And we thank ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television, for televising this show. Service Matters is an opportunity, a weekly radio show that talks about the good things that are happening out there in local communities and beyond. We also talk about the good things that people do, like our guest today. They do good things, they step up to the plate, and that helps make a difference in people's lives. And how important it is, folks out there that are either watching or listening to this broadcast and cablecast, I should say televised cast, that if you have an opportunity to do some good things, why not do that and make people feel good? Because the bottom line is you feel good yourself. You're listening to WPRO, the voice of Southern New England. You can hear us on AM 630 or FM 99.7. We are indeed a Cumulus station. I'm Dave Clifton, happy to host the show. My regards out there for Valerie Perry, my co-host. She's not with us today, but we wish her the best health-wise. And our guest today is a guy that I always said has a face for TV. And he's with myself today, who has a face for radio. And I know that Charlie and I are active Rotarians over the years, and I have him on the air today because he does a lot of good things in his community. And I'd like to recognize him today and let him know that people do care. And they care because he's willing to share his time, his talent, his ideas, his resources, and even his funds to make dreams real for some folks out there in every community in our listening area, whether it be Rhode Island, Massachusetts, or Connecticut. There are people that have certain needs and they need help and support. Thank you, Charlie Murphy from Fairhaven, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Dave. Glad to be here.
And it's always nice to chat with you. I know that you have served as a district governor in Rotary District 7950, and we, on many of our shows, we've been on the air for 15 years and talking about good things that happen in local communities and talking about organizations like Rotary, like Lions, like women's clubs, all the groups and communities that have that civic pride and want to do what they can to help others, to give back to the community. And a lot of young people, they grow up in a town or city, and at some point, when they get a little older, they decide that, gee, I got an awful lot out of living in that community. I'd like to be able to give back to the people out there that may need the help and may need the service. And Charlie, you're familiar with our radio show because you can hear it in Fairhaven. But
Yes.
You were a district governor way back when we started the radio show. We got a grant from Rotary International. It was a 1-year grant, a public image grant is what they called it. And it was an opportunity for us to start a radio show to talk about good things. Well, that show has expanded. It's not just about Rotary anymore. It's about community service. It's about the fact that service matters regardless of what community, town, or city that you live in. And what have you heard about this radio show, Charlie?
I have heard so many wonderful things from people saying it's so good to hear good news and happy anniversary. 15 years, that's a long time. It's a very long time.
It is a long time, and I'd like to thank the Navigant Credit Union for sponsoring our show for 11 of those 14 years. I should say 15 years. I got to get used to saying 15 because January 1st has just arrived, and we said Happy New Year to all the folks out there. And a big thank you also to ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television, for covering a few of our shows. They're radio shows on TV, and it's an opportunity for us to use their new studio to broadcast to our listening audience, but also a viewing audience. A lot of folks here that live in the town of Easton. They're getting ready, Charlie, to plan and prepare for their 300th anniversary, scheduled in the year 2025. You're in Fairhaven, you're a select board member,
Mhm.
have been for a number of terms. When did you have your last anniversary celebration in your town?
12 years ago, we celebrated our 200th anniversary. So on February 22nd, we will be 212 years old.
Terrific. How long have you been a select board member, Charlie?
Well, when I complete this term, I'll be in public service for 25 years, but I did 6 years on the Board of Health. So 19 years on select board.
I
So
understand you ran this year uncontested.
I did, and I was very fortunate to get the most votes in the town. So that was a nice, a nice feeling and a nice way of validation.
It says something about you, Charlie Murphy, that nobody ran against you. And I think there's got to be a reason for it, that they felt that you were a strong select board member that they needed to have there. And I think that you represent the town well. Uh,
Thank
Not just hearing you speak today, but hearing you speak at meetings. Uh, you come across as being very positive, and I know that you like to brag about the good things that happen in the town of Fairhaven. Tell us about Fairhaven. How many people? What's the population?
So the population is about 16,000 people in our seaside community. We have so much beauty in Fairhaven from our founder Henry Huddleston Rogers, and he built many massive buildings, including the high school, the Millicent Library, and the town hall, and the just numerous amounts of great structures that are so historical, and we're keeping those structures up. And when you go into, when you pull into Fairhaven, you see the castle on the hill, which is the high school, and it's just an amazing community. We just had the polar plunge on January 1st, and we had the most amount of people. I emceed the event. We had the most amount, about 260 people plunge.
Wow.
Yes, and all that money that is raised from the selling of the T-shirts, which was sold out, which is great, goes to our scholarship program, Dollars for Scholars. So it's constantly giving back. The town of Fairhaven would like to constantly give back to our community, and there's several civic organizations within our town that are always working hard to enhance, the quality of life here in Fairhaven.
Did you go in the water that day, Charlie?
Absolutely not. That's why I always volunteer to be the MC.
Well, that's a terrific fundraiser, and
Yes.
hats off to all the people that actually did go in the water.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
Not to raise money, but they're probably going to need money to buy medicine after going in such a cold day. But tell us about your other board members. You know, people, and I've had the opportunity on a number of occasions over the years interviewing select board members from different communities, talking
Mhm,
about the good things that take place in their community and
mhm.
talking about their board members that give their time and their talent to serve a community and that role and position.
Yeah, so we have 5 dedicated, select board members, and, last year, we had our first female, chair of the select board, and this year, we have the first, uh, man of color in our select board and the chair. So we've been breaking some ground, and we have the first woman of color as our town administrator. So we're trying to be very diverse here in this community.
Yes, and of course, there certainly is unity in diversity. I always remember that in the community that I worked in for 40 years. But I'll tell you, it's so important to have the right leaders leading a community and moving forward in a positive way. Tell us about your department heads, Charlie. I understand you got some terrific leaders in each department.
We sure do. We have a very, dynamic planning board and a planner. He's come with some great new ideas, and we have, of course, we have our board of health, which is very strong. We have our town clerk. She does an amazing job, and all of the people that are. We have an assistant town administrator now in charge of finance. So we're trying to really grow our team here in town of Fairhaven, and we're very blessed to have such a great team.
And how about your town administrator?
She is amazing. Yes,
How long has she been on board?
2 years. 2 years. She's going into her second year now. So she's learned the community. She's attended many events, and including our Manjaro Festival, our Cherry Blossom Festival, our Our Lady of Angels Feast, the Benoit Square events. Very, very so many that she's getting to know our community pretty well.
I know the wife and I have been at the fest. What a terrific job your community did with that. Lots of fun when people come together, getting to know your neighbors. Certainly at a function like the fest. I did
Yeah.
want to ask you, Charlie, again, how many years did you serve as a select board member? And while you're thinking about that, I wanted to say hats off to your family for making sure that you have the time to give the community of Fairhaven. It takes a lot away from the family when you get so busy with all the things that you're involved in. So I thank your wife and your family. You've been doing this growing up. Tell us also about your profession after you talk about the number of years as a board member.
So far, I've been a select board. It used to be called selectmen, then changed to a 5-member select board. So far, it's been 17 years. When I complete this term, it'll be a total of 19 years. So it's been great. I mean, I truly love the town of Fairhaven and care very much for each and every resident in our town.
What does a guy like you do professionally, Charlie, in terms of helping people?
So about almost 30 years ago, I started an organization called MO Life Incorporated, which stands for Murphy and Others Living Interdependently for Future Endeavors. And that's a community organization that supports people with intellectual disabilities and other disabilities. And we go out and get jobs in the community. We have a day program right here in Fairhaven. We do transportation services, and we also have a residential program that we do. So we have 24-hour care. And we also have a food pantry in downtown New Bedford.
I want to hear more about that, Charlie, but we're going to have to take a quick break to hear from our commercials and also our public service announcements. I'm Dave Clifton, here along with my guest, Charlie Murphy from Fairhaven, Massachusetts. You're listening to Service Matters, the voice of Southern New England. Hurry back.
Hello, welcome to Easton News. I'm Abby Kitchenham.
And I'm Jack Ryan, and together we bring you everything you need to know about Easton, including politics.
The annual town election is scheduled for Saturday, April 22nd, 2023.
Community events.
Be Inspired, Counseling Presents, a parent and child coping workshop centered around a new year and new beginnings.
And sports.
Pressure builds diamonds, so we live by that every day of practice, going into every game.
With APCSM guest segment Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Katie with the Animal Protection Center, and today we have a little Iris.
With help from special correspondent Wyatt Fain. Join us
For Easton News.
Playing 6 o'clock, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
In 2023, Easton is a tight-knit community of 25,000 people. But with the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to forget our past. A time when Easton's population was 6,000.
Everybody knew who everybody
everyone
was.
And there was respect.
There was respect for everyone.
When kids enjoyed great freedom and independence.
Everybody was poor at today's standards, but we all were in the same boat and we enjoyed life.
So join me, Priscilla Almquist Olsen, as I explore what makes Easton so very special with some of its lifetime residents.
I think Easton has so much to offer, and if you're living in a community, you have to know it.
Watch Growing Up in Easton Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and Friday at 9 p.m. See you then.
Welcome back to another edition of Service Matters, talking about the good things that happen in local communities and beyond. Today, we're talking about the community of Fairhaven, Massachusetts, and I have a member of the Board of Select, I should say, Select Board in the town of Fairhaven. His name is Charlie K. Murphy. What does K stand for, Charlie?
Kevin.
Kevin. Oh, that's an easy one. Okay. I wanted to ask you, Charlie, you started to talk before the break about your occupation and your profession. And I've heard some terrific things about the work that you do and how you can make people happy. And tell us more about it.
Well, we try right here at MO Life to assist people in making their dreams come true. Like, some people have never been on a vacation. We have gone on vacations. We're starting that back up again this year in 2024 with a cruise. You take some individuals on a cruise and have a great time and fulfill their needs. One person, and it's funny how you can say that the little things you can overcome, because the last cruise we were on, this individual would never go on an elevator in a ship. And that may not seem like a big deal, but he was so proud on day 3 when he came and told me, Charlie, I was able to take the elevator by myself and find where we were meeting up.
Wow.
So he felt so accomplished by that. So it's the little things like that that mean so much. And one of the individuals that we support walked in the cruise ship and looked around and said, now I can finally say I'm rich. So it's just great. Yeah, it's great little things that people do and say. And, we take people horseback riding on Fridays. And it was quite an accomplishment for one individual. She said, no, I'm not getting on the horse. No, I'm getting horse. Now she doesn't want to get off the horses. And she gets on and off the horses all by herself. And it's these little accomplishments that, some people may take for granted, and we have people working in all parts of the community. That's the other thing that, working, making a paycheck just like everybody else. And really just, saving up for their vacations and paying their bills.
How do the participants in your program qualify to be part of that program?
So it's through several different agencies. It's either through the Department of Developmental Services in Massachusetts or the Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission. And we also have what's called through the MRC program, Pre-ETS, which is helping teenagers in high school transition to the workforce.
Well, terrific. And congratulations to you, Charlie, for taking that leadership role to helping people. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to get Charlie Murphy to join us. I say to people out there that enjoy your family, enjoy your work and occupation, and do what you can to help others out. One never knows how long we're going to be here. We want to do what we can to love the people that we surround ourselves with and to do the best we can to make a difference in someone's life. Let's talk about Rotary, Charlie, if we may. You and I have both had the opportunity to lead our Rotary districts. And the folks out there that are watching or maybe listening, keep in mind that although we're talking about Rotary because we both served as district governors in Rotary District 7950, We do appreciate the efforts of Lions Club. Here in the town of Easton, where I come from, Charlie, they have a terrific Lions Club, very active, over 100 members. I don't know the exact number, but the fact is that they give back to the community in so many different ways. It wasn't too long ago, I think it was in 2007, 2008. I was the district governor of Rotary, and I came to Easton to congratulate the Lions Club here in the town of Easton. I presented them with a plaque because they were chosen as the #1 Lions Club in the country. And they were
Congratulations.
kind of
Great.
they were kind of surprised that a Rotary leader would come and congratulate the Lions Club, but we're all in this together. We all do the best we can to provide whatever support is needed in a community, things that are over and above what the town does. And I see how active they are during the holidays here in the town of Easton, and we wanted to congratulate the Easton Lions Club as well. But Charlie, in Rotary, what year did you serve as governor?
2010, 2011.
And what was the president's theme that year?
The president's theme that year was building communities, bridging continents, building communities.
Yeah.
So it was right up my alley.
Yeah, that was a terrific theme. And of course, your district conference was at Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
I think
First time
everybody
a
in the
conference. Yeah. Yeah.
everybody in the district remembered that one. It was a terrific convention, and it's well, we got the idea of starting a radio show that has been going on since. But I know that you took an active role as the Rotary leader. I know during my year, President Wilkinson was the leader of Rotary International, represented in over 200 countries. But we were fortunate enough my year to have the president come to our district. I think it was in Foxborough at the time. And we had 950 people show up at the district conference, which was an overwhelming turnout.
That's right.
They weren't there to see me, they were there to see the president of Rotary, but it was a joint effort. How many clubs in the district when you were governor?
67.
Yeah. And so you had the honor and privilege of visiting all these clubs.
I did. Yes. That was one of the joys of being a district governor, because you get to go to, 60 plus clubs and hear all the great work that they're doing in each individual community. And it really, when I was district governor, I'd been to Rhode Island many times, but being in charge of the Southern Mass and Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket and the beautiful state of Rhode Island, I learned the true beauty of Rhode Island in places that I never knew even existed. And I was so happy to hear about what great work they're doing in their community. And, got lost a few times in Rhode Island, but I thoroughly enjoyed my visits to each and every club and the great work that Martha's Vineyard is doing, the Nantucket, and just all the communities. I mean, I knew how great Fairhaven was, but it was great to see the other communities and all the works that they're doing and the amounts of scholarships that they're giving out, the works that they're doing with the food pantries, the help that they're giving to people that might need, a ramp or a wheelchair ramp, just the multitude of things, accessible playgrounds. It just, the list goes on, and it's all volunteers. They're just doing this because it's the right thing to do.
It's interesting. You said you got lost a few times. I did as well, Charlie. I remember one time I was looking for a Rotary Club in Rhode Island, their meeting spot. And I stopped and asked someone on the street, and I said, do you happen to know where the Rotary meets? And he said, oh, that's an easy one. Just go to the end of this street and you can't miss it. I said, thank you very much. I got to the end of the street. There was a Rotary there. a turnaround, and
turnaround.
it wasn't the meeting place. We're
Oh,
going to
no.
come back and talk more with Charlie Murphy. We're going to take another short break. This is a Cumulus station, WPRO, the voice of Southern New England. Hurry back.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of For the Love of Words. After a 3-year hiatus, join me, John Holgerson, and
Priscilla Almquist Olson.
as we interview poets and musicians. Could you give the audience a little summary of your background as a child?
When I turned 7 or so, we were car bombed. That stuck out.
And have them share their love of words.
Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me?
A thin broth of moonlight caught in the trees spreads across the garden brush, so one side of every stick shimmers while the other sides melt into one another, a mass grave of cherry, pear, and pine.
For the Love of Words at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Weinstein.
And I'm Meredith Keach.
And we're realtors.
With Coldwell Banker in Easton.
And want to be movie stars.
Pretty much. I'd actually prefer to be a rock star.
Well, yeah.
Do not hit panic.
The market is not crashing. It smells of stardom.
It does smell like stardom in here.
Yeah.
But it's very important as you age to have women friends, because women are always your support system.
Here we go. My name is Harrison Young, and after 13 years of talk show experience, I seek to bring you the best in interviews with some of the very best guests around, including, and here we are, experts.
I've seen thousands of demons actually come out of the mirror one time.
Wow. Musical guests and artists.
If I say how I feel, would you really listen?
And interesting characters of all types.
I threw that kid across the classroom. Look, he didn't try that ever again.
Wow. Join me at Topic Time on your Eastern cable station anytime they want to play it. And from what I understand, that's quite a few times a day. I love it.
Welcome back to Service Matters. Yes, on this show, we like to talk about the good things that are happening. And of course, it couldn't happen without the support of the Navigant Credit Union. They have 24 branches scattered throughout the Ocean State. And of course, when you walk into a branch in any town or city in the Ocean State, you'll see a smile on the teller's face. And they, of course, open up the doors for lots of people. Do you need a loan? Maybe you'd like to buy a new car. Maybe you'd like to get a mortgage. Or maybe like Charlie, you'd like to go on a vacation. You might want to think about what you can do at the Navigant Credit Union. But I think the thing that I noticed the most, Charlie, about the Navigant Credit Union, they are very much into community service. Yes, they may have 24 branches, but all the communities that have branches are all doing community service. It seems that everywhere I go, whatever function's taking place, they're a sponsor. And they have stepped up to the plate to do things above and beyond the call of duty. So we're forever grateful to them. I'd also like to give a thank you and shout out to Brett Ferruccio. Brett is back at the studio, pushing the buttons for our radio show. And Joe Borman is here at the ECAT studio. And he, of course, is pushing the buttons for the TV part. So we get a lot of people that either watching or listening. And I hope that the message that they get is it's so important to talk more about good things that are happening. And let's move forward. We get lots of young people that are listening, that are watching, that need to know that we need to brag more about the good things and give people a pat on the back if they do something terrific. And it's, I always reminded Charlie about this young person I saw in downtown Providence. He was jogging up the street on the sidewalk, and he saw a woman at the light, the crosswalk, holding 2 bundles. And he stopped and turned around and came back, and I'm walking behind him. And he goes over to the woman and said, "Can I help you with your bundles?" I thought that was absolutely terrific.
Yes.
He was huffing and puffing, but he carried the bundles, 2 bundles in his hand, and he held her arm at the same time. He
Wow.
got across the other side. He came back, and I waited for him because I wanted to thank him. I wanted to mention him on the air. And he said, "Well, I don't need any publicity about it." He said, I'm not into going on the radio." And he said, "Do you have your telephone number?" And I called his parents, and I wanted his parents to know that their son stopped and did this good deed. You know, sometimes parents don't hear it, and I wanted them to know. And they were so proud. They kind of chuckled. I could feel that they had tears in their eyes, very proud of their son. And I mentioned on the air, I didn't get into a name, but there are a lot of people like that that do these unforgettable things. And I think about the guy, I'm in a supermarket shopping for the family, and there's a guy in front of me. He's got a suit on. He looked like a banker. And the woman in front of him was searching for a wallet. She had 2 carriages. She had 2 kids with her. So the guy in the suit says, "How many children do you have?" And she said, "I have 7, believe it or not." And he said, "Amazing." And he said, "What are you looking for?" She said, "I'm looking for my wallet." And she said to the cashier, "I'm going to go out in the car. I think I left it in the car." So this gentleman says, "Let me pay that bill." He said, "I'm happy to do it." She said, "No, you don't have to do that." He said, "I insist." 2 carriages of food,
Wow.
almost $200. This guy took out of his pocket and took care of that woman. And she said, "Well, how do I thank you? Give me your address so I can send you a check." He said, "No, I want to do this and I want to do it from my heart." So after I cashed out, I said to the guy, "I appreciate what you did." And he had the same feeling. I want to do it unrecognized. He said, "You know, there's always the fear that someone else is going to hit me up." He said, "I'm only kidding." But those are some good stories. And I know, Charlie, you've seen a lot of that happen in the town of Fairhaven.
I have. It's so nice when you see random acts of kindness for people. You know, someone struggling to get something at the top shelf in the grocery store, and someone just comes over and just, reaches and gives it to the individual. And it's just little things, little things go a long way. And I know you talked about, younger people get involved in credit unions too if they have to, do things. Credit unions really are. I serve on a board here in Fairhaven for All Trust Credit Union, and I just can't tell you the amount of things that credit unions do for our communities. So it's glad that your number one sponsor is a credit union, and because they do what they say, and they do great works in the community.
Unbelievable. Charlie, I did want to wish a happy birthday to my daughter. I should say my daughter's daughter, my grandchild. She's off today to George Washington University, going to be in her first year.
Wow.
And she's excited about it. And I certainly wanted to wish her the best. She's going to get a chance to go over and visit Senator Bill Keating, who's down the Cape. That's his area. And she's looking forward to that as well. I also wanted to congratulate Gerard Mayo. He was hired as the new Patriots head coach. Bill Belichick is no longer with the Patriots. What a career he's had with 24 years. And of course, we know that Mayo is going to be very much into defense. He played for Bill I should say, I was almost going to say Havlicek, but Belichick, what a great coach he was. He brought an awful lot, so many different championships. and of course, Super Bowl. He's got enough rings to cash in. But the fact is that I've always enjoyed the Patriots. How about you?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it's something that we're all proud of here in New England, especially the sports arena. Let's talk about Val Perry, my co-host for this show for a number of years. Val, of course, worked with you when you were serving as a district governor, and of course also served herself as a district governor of Rotary.
So Valerie Perry is just an amazing person. When I was first approached to be district governor, and you go through a 3-year process, I, was young and I worked 3 jobs at the time. And so I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And so I decided to see if Val would be my administrative assistant. And she, of course, along with my wife, Carrie, they did some incredible things of support and help. And what a great team developed from there, because Val got other people involved and I got other people involved. So created such a great team. In fact, I was, I had a lot of fun being a district governor. And I think the reason why I could have so much fun and truly enjoy every moment of it is because I had Valerie. Because Valerie did a lot of the work during my district governor year, and jokingly said, "Oh, she was really the district governor, not you," because she did so much work. But I'm glad to see that she has also become a district governor. But
And
Valerie,
I confirm what you say, Charlie. Of course, she's been the co-host of this radio show for a number of years, and dedicated, lives in East Providence, a former town clerk. She has been active in her community, knows everybody in the town, and of course, we're forever grateful to her for all of her hard work over the years. What a terrific family. And of course, she's got a sister, Sharon, who is now going to be a district governor as of July 1st, 2024. So it runs in the family, doesn't it?
it sure does. Sure does.
Charlie, I wanted to again mention Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls and 17 championships in the AFC. So he leaves here as being one of the greatest coaches that ever coached in the NFL. And I remember
and he'll always
someone
be associated with the Patriots. So
someone said to me, "Well, he's a difficult guy to interview," and I said, and I'm sure he would have said the same thing. He wasn't hired to do interviews. He was hired to be a coach, and that he did, and he did it very well.
Did it well.
I wanted to ask you, Charlie, in the town of Fairhaven, you have served as a select board member. You've been a community leader in so many different capacities. What can you say about some things that you think were outstanding? I didn't give you much time to think about this. Some things that you're very proud of in the town of East. I'm going to ask you to do that when we come back from the break. You're listening to WPRO, the voice of Southern New England. Yes, our show is Service Matters. My gosh, service does matter, folks, in every town and city here in Southern New England. We'll be back after these important messages and, of course, public service announcements here with ECAT. Hurry back.
Don't have time to sit down and watch ECAT programs? Don't worry, ECAT has got you covered. That's right, ECAT has
podcasts!
Yes. ECAT Podcast Channel has your favorite shows that you could listen to. Whether you want to chill and listen to the Ron Van Dam Show and hear him talk about what's bothering him that day, or the show hosted by local legends Stephanie Weinstein and Meredith Keach, where they talk about anything and everything, or take a listen to the weekly news hosted by Jack Ryan and Abby Kitchenham. Stay tuned in with Tiger Talk hosted by Oliver Ames students. Community Forum is where their host Priscilla talks about all things Easton. Easton residents can also find government meetings about various topics. You can find the podcast on Podbean and all your favorite podcast platforms. Just by searching ECAT or the ECAT podcast, you can find it all. The ECAT podcast channel is powered by Podbean, so either in the car ride or walking around town, you can always catch what's going on with ECAT. Happy listening!
Hi, I'm Ron Van Dam. I've been in radio for 3 decades now and have been doing a daily podcast-style show for a few years. But once a week, I come to the ECAT studio where they give me wine and cheese, and I do a TV version of the podcast. I talk about what's going on in the world and in the area and give my opinions on things. And these adults are being slaughtered. Like every there's heads rolling all over the place and blood and guts. I mean, if that happened in your neighborhood, it would not be considered entertainment for the family. Wednesday, we're doing arms. Thursday, we're doing ears. And Friday is my physical workout dental day, where I work my teeth. I realize that I can never be the Pope like I wanted to be because apparently they don't interview for that. You just kind of become one. So tune in to see me move my mouth while I talk. Who knows? We might have something in common. Probably not, but you never know. I find that the consumption of alcoholic beverages makes this show that much better. Catch my show here, The Ron Van Dam Show, right here on ECAT.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
There's a storm.
Join me, Priscilla Almquist Olsen, to explore the town of Easton and its interesting, engaging, ordinary, and extraordinary people, and meet a smorgasbord of guests, including artists, authors, musicians, business owners, community organizations, clergy, local leaders, etc., etc., etc. Community Forum at 3 p.m. on Thursdays and 1:30 p.m. on Saturdays. See you then.
Welcome back to the final segment of Service Matters. This is a positive show that talks about good things here in WPRO, the voice of Southern New England. I'm Dave Clifton, the host, along with my guest from Fairhaven, Massachusetts. His name is Charlie Murphy, and he's known in the town as a doer. He's known as a giver, and he's known as a leader in the community, and that comes from other people that live in your town, Charlie. And I know it from Rotary and from our friendship over the years. Maybe there's something that you'd like to share with us about the town of Fairhaven that maybe we didn't cover yet.
Sure. Well, we have a great public works department as well, always making sure that we have clean water. You know, it's something that you can't just take for granted. There's a lot of methodology that has to go into that whole process. And, you know, that not only that, but also our school committee is great. We have outstanding schools here in the town of Fairhaven. And I'm very proud to say that my granddaughter went through the school system here too, as well as my children. So that along with St. Joe's School, which is also in Fairhaven, which is a Catholic school that they also attended. But also, you know, more recently, I've always known that we have an outstanding police department, police chief, fire department. We had a serious incident happen in the town of Fairhaven just after the holiday and right before the new year. And if we did not have the training and skills that our police and fire have, it could have been 10 times worse than it was. And it was a tough situation. But our police responded, our EMS responded, and we were able to, everything was able to be okay at the end because of their skills. But it still takes a lot out on you. When you go in for work for a day, whether you're a police officer, firefighter, EMS, I mean, you never know how your day is going to go. And if I'm just so proud that we have the training that we're given to our police officers and firefighters and EMS, because it definitely is evident whenever they're out there in our community.
Well said, Charlie. And again, we say to folks out there that are listening or watching this show today that step up to the plate and do what you can to help others. I think that's one of the key things we like to talk about on this show. You know, when you think about the Navigate Credit Union, our sponsor, their theme and motto is people helping people. Rotary's motto is service above self. The Lions Club motto is we serve. And the atmosphere here in the town of Easton and also in all the communities that we cover scattered throughout southern New England, they do what they can to help others. Giving back to the community should be a top priority. Give some consideration to sharing your time, your talent, your ideas, and your resources to make a difference in your community. I always think about going to a Dunkin' Donuts window to get a coffee one morning. And Charlie, the person in front of me, paid for my coffee. Not that someone has to pay for the coffee, but I appreciated that. I didn't recognize the car. What I did do was thanked him by giving him a little wave. And I decided to do the same thing for the car behind me, as people now are calling our line. I wanted to say that I looked in the rearview mirror and I said, I'm going to pay for the car behind me. What I saw in the rearview mirror was 7 people in the car. My wife said to me, make sure when you do that, you look in the mirror first, because there could be a bus behind you. The fact is, you do what you can to share with others. And that's just another example of someone doing something good to share with others. And I know that's the atmosphere in the community that I live in. It was the atmosphere of the community that I used to live in. And they all believe that we're all in the helping people business one way or another. So, Charlie, I thank you so much for joining us on the air today.
Absolutely.
And I hope
Thank
that
you.
you'll share this with others in your communities. Let them know that we salute the town of Fairhaven, Massachusetts, for the good things that they have done over the years. And keep up the good work to you and all the board members in that town. And we feel the same way about the town of Easton, the select board members who put together a committee to celebrate the 300th anniversary in the town of Easton, Massachusetts. I'm so happy that I have the honor and privilege to chair that committee for the year 2025. Any final comment you'd like to say, Charlie?
No, just thank you for doing this, Dave. Thank you for your dedication to the radio show and the TV show here. And just thank you so much for your dedication, because it's also people like you who make a big difference in so many ways.
Much appreciated, Charlie. Thank you, Joe Borman, for pushing the buttons here at the TV studio. And thank you, Brett Ferruccio, back at the studio. I'm Dave Clifton, here with my guest, Charlie Murphy, bidding you farewell from the TV studio at 50 Oliver Street here in Easton, Massachusetts. Go forth to serve. Do it with a smile on your face. Happy New Year 2024. And good luck, Town of Easton, for the year 2025. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.